You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Let All-American Awards and Engraving help your organization, school, team, business, or event make that first impression memorable. From trophies, plaques, and medals, to screen printing, embroidery, and engraving, we have the products and services you need. Our high-tech, state-of-the-art machinery and software give us a creative edge that allows us to create custom products for each customer. We are proud to be your locally owned and operated awards and apparel company, conveniently located along Route 322 at 511 Main Street in Shippensville. Call us today at 814-782-6264 or visit us online at www.allamericanhq.com and see how All-American Awards and Engraving can help make your first impression your best.
So what you want to do is go down 120 to Heiner View and watch the hang gliders today. Then hang a left at the dinosaur at Kinzoo. Go up 219 to Bradford to the Zippo Museum and this great place called Beefeaters. It's a lot of fun. Drop down 555, the Elk Scenic Drive. Now don't miss Cherry Springs at night. It's spectacular.
If you want to know the Pennsylvania wilds,
have fun.
You gotta meet the locals. See what they have in store for you at visitpa.com. Pennsylvania, ready, set, go.
It can happen anytime, anywhere, when you least expect it. That's why there's Bauer Truck Repair. And when you need to get back on the road and keep the wheels moving, we have the people and the power to get the job done. From 24-hour roadside repairs to towing and recovery services, our professional team is on call 24/7. And whether your truck needs a simple oil change or a complete engine rebuild, Bauer Truck Repair has the technology, the tools, and the team to get you back on the road. Our state-of-the-art facility is second to none to keep up the demand for truck and trailer repairs, plus state and federal inspections, preventative maintenance, and more, all at Bauer Truck Repair, just off I-80 and Route 66 in Shippensville. 814-226-6023, or visit us online at BauerTruckRepair.com.
Hey there! Welcome to the Roadhouse. I'm Roadhouse Rick. Come on in.
Hey, how you doing?
We're not one of them chains. We're homegrown and locally owned, where friends and families hang out and chow down on the best steaks, seafood, salads, burgers, wings, and much, much more. For more information, call 814-227-2000 or check out our menu and more at rrrroadhouse.com.
Nuts. District 9 football playoff preview show, the AA portion of our show, being brought to you by the R Roadhouse, located off of exit 62 of Interstate 80 at the Clarion Mall, which is where we're coming from right now. Recently voted the best steak, wings, atmosphere, and customer service in Clarion, the official restaurant of D9Sports.com. Also by All-American Awards and Engraving, the official awards provider of D9Sports.com. Your one-stop trophy shop with the highest quality of awards, engraving, and embroidery since 2004. Visit them at allamericanhq.com. Both of those businesses' websites can also be found on D9Sports.com, as they are proud supporters of District 9 Athletics and D9Sports.com. Show's also being brought to you by the Clarion River Woodland Lodge. Enjoy lobster every Friday night at the Clarion River Woodland Lodge in Cooksburg. The evening is like a mini vacation to Maine. By the PA Great Outdoors. Plan your outdoor getaway in the Pennsylvania wilds by visiting the Pennsylvania Great Outdoors website at www.visitpago.com. Also brought to you by ECUA. ECUA, bringing affordable associate degrees to your backyard. Check us out at ecuapa.org. AA Bracket, guys, is a 4-team bracket. With me here is Rich Rhoades and Andy Close. It's a 4-team bracket, guys, and looking at it, the top seed is the Kane Wolves at undefeated 10-0. Karn City at 9-1 is the second seed. St. Mary's comes in as the third seed at 6-4, Rich?
Yes.
And the fifth seed would be the Brookville Raiders, also coming in at 6-4. Looking at that bracket, starting with the 4-seeded Brookville Raiders, Rich, that's your expertise right there.
Yeah, I've seen them in all but one of their games this year, and it's been a tale of two schedules for them. They started the season out 5-1 with a loss to St. Mary's early in the year, And then they ran into a kind of a rough part of their schedule, which would be Du Bois. I lost to Du Bois, I lost to Karn City, and then lost this past week to Clarion. So they're somewhere in between. They're not a bad team. They're obviously not among the elite according to the results this year. And I guess that's why they're in the 4th seed going to Kane.
Key players for that team, Rich?
Yeah, Zach Vroman is clearly their best player. He's the second leading rusher going into the playoffs in the district. He even played some quarterback last week against Clarion. He might have to do that again in the playoffs, depending on the health of their quarterback, Bobby McGrainer. Vroman is one of their top. I think he's on our leading tackler list. He's all-time leading rusher. He set just about every rushing record that I can think of. He's their playmaker, and pretty much how he goes is how the Raiders' offense goes. If McGrainer is healthy, they have some passing there. He's thrown for I think 600 some yards. First-year starter as a junior. Without him in there, the Raiders definitely have to lean more on Vroman. Braden Smith is their playmaker at receiver. And from there, it's really not much. I mean, that's really what they've leaned on most of the year. The quarterback, Vroman, McGrainer, Brody Zockel rushed for 800 yards last year. He's mostly playing defense for them and making plays on the defensive side of the ball. But really, they're kind of an in-between team. They've beaten all the teams that don't have good records, and they really haven't beaten a great team. So they'll get their chance against Kane.
Looking at St. Mary's, Andy, the Dutch have been a lot more balanced this year than in past seasons. With running back Alex Feldbauer, who did miss a couple of weeks with an injury, but he's still run for over 1,000 yards. Nick Cunningham, the quarterback, has thrown for over 1,000 yards for them this year. So a little bit more balance in Dutch country this year.
Sure, I think we looked at them going in last year and saying, okay, you stop Feldbauer, you stop St. Mary's. Or by and large, you stop their running game, you stop St. Mary's. Cunningham is over 1,000 yards passing this year. Joe Schlimm and his staff have opened up the playbook a little bit. And I think let's point out too, you have to have the personnel in order to do that. You have a Nick Cunningham who stepped in. Also, Pat Schlimm has played some quarterback for them as well this year. And those guys have done a nice job, and the receivers as well, is really balancing out that St. Mary's offense. But again, as Rich touched on with Zach Vroman at Brookville, the offense still does revolve around the running game, and it revolves around Alex Feldbauer. I mean, this kid is a workhorse. I saw him, a couple of weeks ago in a win over Bradford, over 40 carries, 250 yards. It's not so much as the running game goes that they go this year, but that still is their bread and butter, and that's still what's got them to this point, number 3 seed in the AA field.
And I saw St. Mary's twice this year. Probably one of their best efforts in their win over Brookville. And then I saw them against Red Bank, where they got shut out without Feldbauer. And they didn't look like a passing team without Feldbauer in that game either. So Feldbauer is very important, keeps that balanced offense.
Mm-hmm. You talk about the ability to run the ball, setting up the pass, and really that's the ability to play action pass is where that comes from. Yes. Looking at the second-seeded Karn City Gremlins, Karn City, the defending District 9 champions, their only loss was to Clarion area, the top seed in the Class A playoffs, one of the top Class A teams in the entire state probably. The Gremlins just barely missed out on having the top seed despite that loss. Really well-balanced football team. Tyler Keppel, the senior quarterback, his second full year as a starter, his third year of seeing playing time at that position. You're also looking at once again, Karn City has running back by committee. In not going to even name all the guys, but Wyatt Everett, Tristan Rhoades, Zach Moore, Adam Whited, just going down the list. Different years, same team for the Gremlins.
Yeah, Maroney, Money, those guys, they catch passes as well. Keppel is a very good quarterback, I think. 2 results this year tell me a lot about Karn City. First of all, they lost 42-7 to Clarion, but then they beat Oil City 48-41.
48-20.
I'm sorry, that was the score. That was the score of the Du Bois game.
Right.
Yeah, they beat Oil City by 20. I got a chance to see them beat Brookville. I guess a typical solid Karn City football team where they're gonna do it by committee, and they have a 1,200-yard quarterback, so that's a nice stat number for an individual player. But just plenty of guys that could be a big player on a given week.
Sure. And you guys touched on that Oil City game. I got a chance to see that Oil City team back in week 2 against Bradford. Now, obviously, Bradford down this year, but that Oil City team is a good football team, a playoff team in AAA over in District 10. And I remember seeing that score come across that Friday of that game and just be, wow. Yeah, I wasn't really sold on Karn City before that. Not that I didn't think they were a good football team, but as far as you know, a team that can win a district title and possibly beyond. From that point forward, my tone has changed completely on that team. You guys touched on Tyler Keppel, an experienced quarterback, good decision maker. I believe he's thrown 20 touchdown passes this year. And then once again, a typical Ed Conto coach Karn City team. A lot of different guys getting it done running the football.
You can't give Ed's on the short list of some of the best coaches we've seen in District 9 football. There's no question about it.
The top seed Kane Wolves coming in at 10-0, the AML champions. You know, maybe the one knock against Kane is they haven't played any other AA teams all year. They've played strictly a Class A schedule, but you only play who's in front of you, and they've beaten everybody in front of you, and most of them they've beaten handily. Looking at Kane, what do you see there, Andy?
Well, before the season started, I looked at Kane and said, this is going to be a solid group. They had a lot of experience, particularly on the offensive, defensive front. You talk about kids like Nate Moore and Nate Klaber and other guys. The question with Kane going into the season was, how do you replace quarterback Sean Jordan? You know, threw for over 1,000 yards last year. Jonas Smith, 1,000-yard rusher in the backfield. How do you replace him? And they had some talent coming back at receiver, and Jeff Kajancic and Andrew Pearson. But the quarterback and running back questions were really, you know, what I was looking for from Kane coming into the season. Boy have Kevin Clear and John English really answered those questions. Kevin Clear, yeah, I think is on the short list for offensive MVP in the district. You know, 27 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. You know, over 1,000 yards passing, and you know, John English, you know, on the verge of a 1,000-yard season. This team is incredibly balanced, and I think those kids have stepped in, I think, better than I certainly envisioned, and maybe most people.
And defensively, another really good football team. Evan DeLong leads District 9 in sacks. I think it's up to 16 now. So, you know, they do it on both sides of the football as well. I should mention that they co-op with another District 9 school as well. They co-op with East Forest. Only one kid from East Forest on that team, but he is a starter, and Charles Rainey on both sides of the line for them this year. So Kane, as you look at it, complete all-around football team.
Sure. I'm glad you touched on Evan DeLong then, too. Evan DeLong, a state class wrestler.
That's right.
You know, he's incredibly quick, incredibly strong and athletic, and certainly one of the leaders on the defense that has been very, very good this season.
James Lingfelder is another kid on that defense that has played a real key role for the Kane Wolves. Before we get into the look at that bracket, remind you that the AA portion of the EYT Media Network, D9Sports.com, District 9 Playoff Show is being brought to you by the R Roadhouse, All-American Awards and Engraving, the Clarion River Woodlands Lodge, the PA Great Outdoors, and the ECUA. Once again, we thank those great sponsors for giving us the opportunity to do this, guys. Looking at the two matchups, we'll start with the 3-2 game. That would be St. Mary's traveling down to Karn City. That's a rematch of a game that Karn City easily won earlier in the year.
I believe it was 42-0. It was a shutout for sure. Boy, more of the same. Karn City is going to be obviously playing for a championship against. We'll pass that in a minute. Anybody disagree with me on that?
I certainly do.
I think obviously Karn City has got the upper edge in this game once again. I'm not sure if Feldpower played in that first game against the Gremlins or not off the top of my head, but I don't really think it matters in the end there. I think that's Karn City's game to lose.
I think Feldpower did actually play, but yeah, that's a tough matchup for them.
I think you look at the other matchup. I think Kane is the prohibitive favorite in that one. Also, 10-0. Once again, Chris, is it the greatest schedule in the world? No, but they were mighty impressive against it, and Brookville certainly, some questions at the quarterback position, maybe with injury. I think we've all been staring at a Kane-Karn City final for a number of weeks now, and not to discredit anything Brookville or St. Mary's has done this year, but I would be very surprised if we didn't see Kane-Karn City for the championship.
I'm going to say this. If I'm Kane, I probably, as the top seed, was kind of hoping for St. Mary's instead of Brookville, Rich. Last year, Brookville gave them everything they wanted and maybe a little bit more in that game. The question is Kane better than they were last year? Is Brookville not as good as they were last year? How do you see all that matching up?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Kane. I mean, Andy might be able to answer that question. Are they better this year than last year? Brookville, Yeah, I mean, that was a coin flip game up there. It came down to overtime conversion on a win or loss move by Brookville to go for 2. And as you know, Kane and Karn City, all they wanted to in the district finals. Are they better? I don't know. Brookville.
I'm going to say this, of the two games involved there, I think Karn City might be able to overlook St. Mary's a little bit and still win the game. I think that if Kane starts looking ahead to Karn City, they may lose this week.
I agree with that.
I would agree with that too, but
I don't see it happening.
I don't think Kane's overlooking Brookville by any stretch of the imagination. Todd Silfies, and Kane's staff have done a terrific job with that team. I don't think they overlook Brookville. I think they recognize what happened in that game last year, Chris, as you pointed out. I don't think there's any looking ahead for this Kane team.
As you look at it, guys, who wins this championship if it's a Kane-Karn City rematch?
Well, the way he's thinking, it's going to be Karn City. I think, and that's no disrespect to Kane, Karn City is a solid overall team, and I think they can, not saying it'll be a blowout, but I'm going to go with the Gremlins.
I think the Gremlins' schedule has prepared them more for winning a championship, and I think in the end that may be the difference.
I think if anyone remembers that championship game last year, just a classic, coming down to the final seconds, and certainly Kane wants to reverse that score this time around. Do they? Boy, I don't know. I still think at the end of the day, as evenly as these teams are matched up from a personnel standpoint, from a talent standpoint, I give an ever so slight edge to Karn City. I think they win this game very close.
I would agree, and I think that that the experience of being there and winning it so often from the coaching staff, I'm going to give that just the slightest of advantages in the coaching staff to Karn City here, and I think that in a close game that could be the difference between winning and losing. Folks, we want to thank you for watching the AA portion of the EYT Media Network, D9Sports.com District 9 Playoff Preview. It's been brought to you by the RRR Roadhouse, located off of Exit 62 in the Clarion Mall, recently voted the best steak, wings, atmosphere, and customer service in Clarion. Also been brought to you by the All-American Awards and Engraving, your one-stop trophy shop with the highest quality of awards, engraving, and embroidery since 2004. Visit them at allamericanhq.com. The Clarion River Woodland Lodge. Enjoy lobster every Friday night at the Clarion River Woodland Lodge in Cooksburg. The evening is like a mini vacation to Maine. The PA Great Outdoors. Plan your outdoor getaways in the Pennsylvania wilds. Visit Pennsylvania Great Outdoors website at www.visitpago.com. And by ECUA, bringing affordable associate degrees to your backyard. Check us out at ecuapa.org. That's ecuapa.org.
Hey there! Welcome to the Roadhouse. I'm Roadhouse Rick. Come on in.
Hey, how you doing?
We're not one of them chains. We're homegrown and locally owned, where friends and families hang out and chow down on the best steaks, seafood, salads, burgers, wings, and much, much more. For more information, call 814-227-2000 or check out our menu and more at rrrroadhouse.com.
Nice.
It can happen anytime, anywhere, when you least expect it. That's why there's Bauer Truck Repair. And when you need to get back on the road and keep the wheels moving, we have the people and the power to get the job done. From 24-hour roadside repairs to towing and recovery services, our professional team is on call 24/7. And whether your truck needs a simple oil change or a complete engine rebuild, Bauer Truck Repair has the technology, the tools, and the team to get you back on the road. Our state-of-the-art facility is second to none to keep up the demand for truck and trailer repairs, plus state and federal inspections, preventative maintenance, and more, all at Bauer Truck Repair, just off I-80 and Route 66 in Chippenville, 814-226-6023, or visit us online at exploreClarion.com.
So what you want to do is go down 120 to Heiner View and watch the hang gliders today. Then hang a left at the dinosaur at Kane Zoo. Go up 219 to Bradford to the Zippo Museum and this great place called Beefeaters. It's a lot of fun. Drop down 555, the Elk Scenic Drive. Now don't miss Cherry Springs at night. It's spectacular.
If you want to know the Pennsylvania wilds,
Have fun.
you gotta meet the locals. See what they have in store for you at visitpa.com. Pennsylvania, ready, set, go.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Let All-American Awards and Engraving help your organization, school, team, business, or event, make that first impression memorable. From trophies, plaques, and medals, to screen printing, embroidery, and engraving, we have the products and services you need. Our high-tech, state-of-the-art machinery and software give us a creative edge that allows us to create custom products for each customer. We are proud to be your locally owned and operated awards and apparel company, conveniently located along Route 322 at 511 Main Street in Chippenville. Call us today at 814-782-6264 or visit us online at www.allamericanhq.com and see how All-American Awards and Engraving can help make your first impression your best.